Hi there, my name is Rachel Turlop, and I am a former student of Miss Eaton's, and I am here today to facilitate a conversation around young children's curiosity about physical differences associated with race and how that comes up and plays out in our early childhood education settings. So before I jump right in and offer you materials to interact with, I want to let you know a small bit about who's talking to you. I graduated from Baldwin Wallace in 2013 with my degree in early childhood education and that 4-5 specialist endorsement. From there, I earned my master's degree at Trinity Washington University in 2017, and I'm currently in my second year of my doctoral program at George Mason. And so within that time, I have also been a teacher consistently. So going to school as well as teaching during the day. And so I want to make sure that you know when I was developing this presentation for you, I want you to know that it comes from a place of both research, and I have my researcher hat on, and I also am coming as a teacher who is teaching first grade and has been teaching preschool, first grade, all of this good stuff for the past 8 years. I've taught in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I've taught in Nairobi, Kenya. I've taught in a cow field in Maryland. I have taught in Washington, D.C., in both affluent regions and regions that are financially insecure. And now I'm currently teaching in Northern Virginia at a Title I school. So when I present this to you, I want to make sure that you know that I have taught a plethora of students with diverse needs culturally, linguistically, and cognitively. So that is where I'm coming from today, and let's jump right in. All right, so today we're looking at young children's curiosity around physical differences associated by race. The article is linked at the bottom of your presentation so that you can read and check it out for yourself. Key takeaways I had when reading this were that the colorblind philosophy can exacerbate racial oppression, that children notice physical characteristics associated with race, the shared reading of high-quality children's books paired with conversations serve as a springboard for discussions about race, and that early childhood teachers should engage in reflective practice to examine their personal biases and beliefs and values so that we ourselves are not exacerbating the problem. In these spaces right here, you see that I'm circling them. This is space for you to type in your thoughts and feelings. Please know that the slides are editable and you can contribute as necessary. So this page looks super blank, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Article critique. There is no research methodology in this. We don't see any studies about the QCARE model. There is a lot of literature cited, and I left a blank here because I want to make sure you are thinking about who these authors are and what literature is being cited. What is their bias? What is their background? As far as implications for practice, how is this going to look across different settings? Is this a conversation for all children? You tell me. And finally, what further research needs to be done in this area? Do we need to see which teachers are implementing it and how students' opinions are affected? This is space for you right now to honestly add text box, add pictures, add links to articles you've seen, add your opinion. What needs to happen after this? Because by no means is this research done. Take a moment to reflect on these two fantastic quotes from the article. Feel free to pause the video if you need longer. Within the article, the QCARE model of questioning, correcting, affirming, repeating, and expanding is offered. Questioning looks like probing your students so they can talk more about what they see, what they notice. The see and correct is one that I personally am struggling with as a white woman because I want to make sure that when I am correcting students, I want to make sure that I have the appropriate language so that I am modeling and then can affirm and repeat and expand upon what the children are saying. You're welcome to pause now and talk about which part of the QCARE model you are working on. Now, an example of a book that you could use with the QCARE model is called I'm Gonna Push Through by Jasmine Wright. The book is linked here for YouTube so that you can watch it for yourself and you can see all the diversity that this book holds. Something to consider, though, is your planning. As early childhood educators, we don't just pick up a book and go into it blind. Looking at this picture, what are the things that you would ask about? What are the things you would point out about? Level 1 reading and dialogic reading involves identifying specific vocabulary. Look at this picture. Vocabulary could include wheelchair, hijab. It could include differences around texture. It could include even talking about what students see and have never seen before. Additionally, with the QCARE model, I want to make sure that we're also thinking about this from a shared reading experience. So here are some things I have found about shared reading in my research. The biography is at the end if you would like to see references. And I want to make sure you know that on this page, you are welcome to share your thoughts. So if you agree with any of the statements I've found, feel free to drag and drop an icon or a thought bubble if you have other thoughts, or an and symbol if you want to add something else. Also, feel free to type in the colorful section so you can share your thoughts about shared reading. So then where to next? How can we apply this framework? How are you doing this already in your classroom? How can you apply this to what you are planning and thinking about for next week, next month, in former units, in upcoming units? Another thing I have for you to consider is this quote about when we do not talk about race, we're only reaffirming that white norm that has been set and put in place in our country. So my hope right now is that you have an opportunity to type your thoughts, experiences, reflections on this, and then feel free to interact with what your peers and classmates are saying. Finally, I love to leave you with resources. If you've got stuff that I need to hear about or anyone else needs to hear about, drop it in that share. Also, resources for you as educators. Teaching Tolerance is the social justice standards for grades K to 12. I very much recommend you look into this. Taking a look at anti-bias literature, taking time to look at the Teachers College from Columbia University and what microaggressions are to make sure you are not doing that, and I am not doing that, and all of us are not doing those, as well as learning to interrupt conversations that are inappropriate or ineffective when it comes to race. So, with that being said, thank you so much for allowing me space to provide what I have found with you in your diversity class with Miss Eaton. She truly is one of the most intentional educators I have ever met, and I hope that this conversation serves you well. Thank you so much for doing this work.